Hey guys, and welcome back to Heroes of Might and Magic 4. As always, I'm Beamer93, and last time we defeated all of the people that took Rumport and supposedly built the Holy Grail in it, but not really, but kind of, whatever. Today we start the Bay of Maids. Tawny sets out to conquer the Bay of Maids, where an extensive forest would supply plenty of resources to build her southern fleet, but one of her trusted commanders betrays her. First mate Pete Gurley takes over Rumport and sails south with her own ships, determined to kill Tawny and her supporters when they are at their weakest. But she just said that she was planning on having him killed. That's weird. Anyways, victory conditions: defeat Pete Gurley. Loss condition: lose Tawny, Balfour, or Circa. Tawny and Circa will all of their spells, skills, and experience will transfer to the next level, to the next map, along with the Giant Slayer sword. All of your heroes have a maximum level of 28.
Vengeance. No
sure.
matter what those self-righteous priests say.
Vengeance is mine.
Turn the other cheek. That hatred sits in the bottom of your stomach like an infection. Soon it begins to rot and stink, and then gangrene sets in.
Sure.
Now, if you put a knife in the back of the source of your hatred, that's like cleaning the wound.
Sure. Makes total sense. What the fuck are you on about? The trouble with most of the region around Rumport is the lack of wood. My shipbuilders exhausted the supply in the first few weeks, leaving half a dozen skeletal ships sitting helpless in dry dock, awaiting completion. Rather than import lumber from the north, which would only cut into my resources there, I sailed further south into the Bay of Maids to seize control of it. A vast forest surrounds the Bay of Maids, with wood perfect for shipbuilding, and it's relatively close to Rumport. Of course, I expected resistance, but this time I wasn't foolish enough to risk a fleet of ships. Numerous ships seemed to attract a lot of attention from the mermaids. Instead, I took only the Feral Vixen and used it like a blockade runner, darting into the bay and fleeing every battle. I had a few encounters with the mermaids and one with a sea monster that left the Vixen taking on water, but we made it to the coast. There was no time to waste. Leaving some of the crew behind to make repairs on the Vixen, I took Oba and the rest of the men ashore to have a look around. I was gone no more than a day. When I returned, I realized I should have left more guards. The Feral Vixen was gone. No sign of my men, of wreckage, of anything. My ship was simply gone. Alright. Well then. How do you have two sets of boots? You should probably give one to her. Here, have these. And let us be rid of our enemies together. Okay. And? That's all? Alright. Well, we're gonna enchant them then. As I sat down for a drink with Eight Fingers Oba, I thought that he was perhaps the only man among my crew that I trusted. Normally, trust is a waste of time. Trust gets you killed, but with Oba, I think I understood what motivated the old sailor, and he wasn't interested in power or gold. He had no interest in taking my place, so why kill me? He didn't even seem to want his own ship. I would have given him one if he had given me an indication that he was interested. I believe him to be a good leader, or else I never would have made him my first mate. But Oba didn't seem to like making all the decisions. Why do you do this, Oba? I asked unexpectedly. He scratched his graying beard. I've come to recognize this act as a nervous habit. Do what? Wait, what? Oh, wait. He scratched his graying beard. I've come to recognize this act as a nervous habit. Do what? He said. Pirate. It seems to me you would be just as happy in a fishing trawler as long as you had the sea beneath you. Oba nodded, agreeing with me, and said, I might be happy fishing all day. I have considered it, especially now that I am getting older and slower. Don't be a fool, I said, pouring us another drink. You're stronger and faster than any of my crew. What are you, 40? Closer to 50, I think. I don't count. That made him around the same age as my father, but he looked far healthier, far younger. So why do you do it then? Why do you pirate? Oba thought about this as he finished his second drink and poured another. I waited. I had learned to accept these moments of thoughtfulness from my first mate. You're right. It is mostly because I love the sea. I belong here, and I hope to die here. So you pirate for added glory of battle? I guessed. Oba shook his head. I pirate so I can kill pirates. His words were like a blade of ice. You enjoy killing pirates, I said cautiously. I hadn't expected that answer. Yes, I enjoy it very much. They killed my family, he said bluntly. Before I became a whaler, I was a fisherman. Pirates attacked my village, killed nearly everyone. I survived. I sailed in the navies of Barkada, Arathia, and Nyan for a while, but I just didn't find enough opportunities to face pirates. So you became one. That's an odd choice. Ah, but is it? When I became one of them, I managed to kill more pirates than ever. I learned that more than anyone, pirates hate other pirates. They hate competition, so they attack other pirate ships when they see them. And when we set ashore, we usually did it at pirate hideouts. It became so simple to arrange bar fights that ended in murder or drag some passed-out sot into the alley and slit his throat. Jeez. Oba slammed back another drink. His eyes appeared distant, but there was a smile on his face. Now I saw the lines around his eyes, the gray in his short hair and beard, and the wrinkles creeping into his dark skin. I have counted 100 kills for every member of my family, Oba counted. After that, I just stopped counting. The rest are for me, for the happiness they have stolen from me. I recalled all the battles I have fought beside Oba and suddenly realized he was a far different man when fighting pirates than when fighting innocents. He was a madman against other pirates, sometimes claiming as many as 8 or 9 lives before the end of a battle, far more than anyone else. That's the main reason my father kept him on his crew. Black Balfour always said he would wager his entire wealth on a one-on-one fight between Oba and any other pirate. I think I would too. But against merchant guards or Navy sailors, Oba barely brought in a single kill. How many people were in your family, I asked, wondering just how many pirates' lives this man's vengeance has claimed. My wife, my baby, my brother, and my father and mother. 5. 100 lives for each one. 500 pirates. The man I was drinking with was a one-man army, and now I understood why gold and power meant nothing to him. No wonder he didn't want his own ship. If one man had killed that many fellow pirates, he would have every sea rogue in the world after his head. This way he stays anonymous, and all the blame for the lives he claims goes to his captain. I wondered how much of my father's fame could really be attributed to Oba's deeds. I raised my glass in a toast and smiled at my new first mate. Here's to your continued success. I just hope I'm not on your list. We drank. As we set down our glasses, Oba said, Don't worry. I have never killed a crew member while working with them. You're never going to want your own ship, are you, Oba? I asked. He smiled, stood and said, I am fine right here, Captain. I like being your first mate. Of course he does. I have been waging my own personal war against the other pirate captains, giving him plenty of opportunities for revenge. Jeez, Oba. Like, jeez. It's crazy. Didn't realize the man was so murderous. All right. Ta-da! Circa can do quite a bit on her own. All right. There's a range battle back and forth. Poor nightmares. Didn't stand a chance against Circa. And now they will be her only troop. For the time being. Today started as a good day and quickly went downhill from there. Since we passed some pig farmers the day before, we all ate a hearty portion of pork for breakfast. I washed it down with some of my private reserves. Everything went wrong after I stepped from my tent. A messenger staggered into camp between two orc guards. The orcs seemed wary to approach me, so they pushed the messenger forward. I recognized the man despite the mud and blood caked on his face. He was the first mate of the Ravager, Arnok's ship. His name was Hall or Hob, something like that. I leaned my head away from him because there was a powerful sour stench coming from the ragged-looking man. "What are you doing here?" I asked. He should have been on the Ravager guarding the Strait of the Lost. "I have news, Captain Balfour," he replied. "Bad news, I'm afraid." "How did you get here? The Ravager?" "No, Captain, I walked. The Ravager is locked to the enemy." The sailor started pulling at the cords of a heavy satchel at his hip. "What do you mean lost? What enemy?" I asked insistently. The man finally freed the sack and tipped it over, allowing its contents to splat into the mud. The flies swarmed around it in seconds. The sailor nudged the pale ball with the toe of his shoe until a face stared up at me, the unmistakable face of Arnok the Hairless. Despite the smell coming from this sailor, I grabbed a handful of his dirty shirt and pulled him within inches of my own face. "What enemy?" "Pete Gurley, Captain." I had left Pete Gurley in charge of Rumport and Arnok in charge of the ships, thinking the division of power would cancel out both men's ambition. Apparently, I had been wrong. The sailor, his name turned out to be Hoff, told me how Arnok was at sea patrolling the Strait of the Lost when he received word from me to return to Rumport. "I sent no such order," I interrupted him. We learned that when we docked, Captain. Pete Gurley met us and walked us through the city streets to meet you at the castle, but we were ambushed along the way. We were outnumbered 3-1. Captain Arnok killed 3 of them before Pete got that blasted whip around his sword arm. Gurley killed Arnok himself and ordered one of his men to cut off his head. Hoff and a few of the others were captured. Pete picked Hoff out of the group and handed him the sack with Arnok's head. Then he hung the others. Did he say anything? "He told me to deliver Arnok's head to you. He said he had his own ship now and more. Rumport and its fleet were his, and soon all of Yonthray would be his as well." "Anything else?" "Something else I didn't quite understand. Something about never forgetting the mark you gave him," Hoff said. So Pete Gurley was still angry with me for scarring his perfect face. Good. Men were stupid when they were angry, but I doubt a little cut is the only reason Pete betrayed me. He was too ambitious for his own good. He wanted it all. He saw his chance and took it. I couldn't blame him for that, except he took what was mine. "Could I have some food?" Captain Hoff asked. "No." I said, the knife was already in my hand. "You won't be needing any." I killed him quickly just in case he was a spy for Pete Gurley. I couldn't take the chance that Hoff had made some kind of deal with Pete in exchange for his life. Why wake up one night to find Hoff standing over me with a dagger in hand? It was safer this way. I turned to Eight Fingers Oba, who was watching, and said, "Pete Gurley dies. Understand?" "Yes, Captain. If I get the chance, it will be my pleasure," Oba replied. From that point on, I swore all my efforts would be focused on taking Rumport back and removing Pete Gurley's handsome little head from his shoulders. Okay. We go to war. Against our own people. Taking this town. Hello. Good. Oh darn. You killed the one Efreet I had. Open fire. Oh, come on, it's right there. You can fucking hit it. Loser. Thank you. Tingakwe. Sure. Ever since the Thieves' Gauntlet. Hiking through ankle-deep mud is never easy, even when you're sitting upon a horse. The swamps here are even worse because there are no trails. Vegetation needs to be cut away and removed, a lot of hard work, so I arranged for my men to work in shifts, cutting at the vines and bushes. With their sabers and axes, my second mate, Jim Journey, was in charge of the operation. Too bad for him. In an effort to impress everyone with his wilderness skills, Jim literally led his men through the swamp. He walked a few paces in front of the others, guiding the way, testing the depth of the swamp. A real explorer, but all his attention was focused on the ground, so when he pushed aside some hanging vines, he unknowingly broke a trap trigger. A 4-foot spiked log dropped from a nearby tree and collided with Jim Journey's chest hard, ending his life immediately. He was carried away by the log's trajectory, then appeared again and swung there back and forth for everyone to see. Next to me, Oba said, "Traps usually mean people are around." Yeah, traps also mean they don't like strangers. From now on, we don't take a step without checking for traps, I said. "I'll take over," Oba said as he dismounted. We left Jim Journey where he was and moved on. Shame for him. We captured this gate a few days ago. Only those who are loyal to our cause and fly the purple flag may pass. Well, that's not very fair. Soon after you start down this tunnel, one of the Medusas informs you that some Hydras dwell at the end of it and won't allow anyone to pass. The Hydras leave the Medusas alone because the former queen used to feed them sacrifices, but no amount of sacrifices will convince them to let you pass. Then I guess I'll have to kill them now, won't I? You find words etched into the stone wall of this abandoned gate. Only one of royal Medusa blood may pass, or stone you'll be. Hopefully the half-Medusa sorceress Circa will be able to pass. I came all the way down here for nothing! Circa, go underground, I guess. I'm sorry, the door only opens for the one whose name is etched on it. I sure wish the Circa would come along soon. We're trapped here until they do. What is with her needing to be the one to do everything? Damn it. Hello? Ooh, hi. How are you? You are very scary, I must say. Someone else. We're just gonna stand around while I beat the shit out of your gate? Is that what's gonna happen here? Thank you. Oh, finally, somebody has some balls. How is this fucker still alive? There we go. Nice. You listen to the warning, for there is no Medusa blood in your veins, and choose not to pass through the gate. What? What? The fuck? But they just said that we needed... I don't understand. Did they not just say, we need the Medusa Queen, which is her? I'm so confused.